Hey, what's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome into Fantasy Filmball, the show where we turn movies into sports and sports into something we don't talk about here. My name is Matt.
My name is Dylan. It's time for another Fantasy Filmball draft here on the channel. And I'm back in the winner's circle after taking a week or two off in the L column. But before we dive into this week's draft, we have something very fun coming up on the channel. So Matt, why don't you tell everyone what we have coming here soon?
Well, here on Fantasy Filmball, we play a game called Fantasy Filmball, and you can join if you join our Discord before August 15th and sign up for the game in the League Placements channel. Is that at the end of August, we draft a team of 10 movies, and those movies go on to collect points through the award season, through Metacritic scores, through box office, and of course through awards shows. They will collect points, and at the very end of the awards season, when it comes to the Oscars, a winner will be crowned. That winner will have the team of the best, most high-scoring awards films through the year. It is a very fun game if you're an awards season junkie like Dylan and I hope to see you all there. And even if you don't love awards, even if you just like movies, join our Discord. We talk movies every single day. It is a really fun way to just talk with like-minded people about movies and cool stuff. We hope to see you there. But today we are going to be drafting Nickelodeon movies in honor of TMNT Mutant Mayhem, which is in theaters this week, and we'll be dropping a review of at some point. But yeah, we're going to be talking Nickelodeon. They got some good original movies. They got some bad original movies, but they definitely have 10 movies that are good enough to draft for us. So, Dylan, yes, you crushed me last week with our A24 horror draft, which I predicted. That's so fine. I'm happy with my team, but this week I'm in it to win it again. Dylan, though, you get first pick. What are you going to take?
I mean, if we're talking Nickelodeon, there's one character that comes to mind, and it just so happens that this guy has had 3 movies, and one of those movies is amazing. The others are not as good, but the original one is one of the greatest animated movies of all time, and that is the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. There's nothing that you can say about this movie that has not been said before, because it's just perfect across the board. It hits the mark for kids, it hits the mark for adults, it's insanely rewatchable, and it's just like the tell-all for just not Nickelodeon movies, but just animation in this realm as a whole. So that's my first overall pick. I would love to hear what you're following that up with, though.
SpongeBob is an amazing pick. That movie is fantastic. It is the perfect summation of everything that made the first 6 seasons of that show so gosh darn special. It is just so good, and I wish I could have taken that, but I can't. Before we start on my team, though, I just want to say I had the worst Mandela effect while preparing for this draft, because for some reason in my mind, I kept thinking that Hugo, Martin Scorsese's movie, I swear to God, I remember this being a Nickelodeon movie. I don't know why. I just remember as a kid, I remember seeing the trailers saying Paramount Nickelodeon Films or whatever for Hugo, but I can't find anything on the internet about that. It's not listed anywhere as a Nick film, but it's not. So I can't take Hugo round 1. Oh, that would have been a goddamn game killer though. But instead, I will take 2 other 2011 Nickelodeon original movie hits. And the first one I'm going to take here is Steven Spielberg's The Adventures of Tintin.
I mean, you go from Scorsese to Spielberg. That's a pretty even trade-off right there.
Exactly. And maybe the reason this Mandela effect is happening is that 2011 Nickelodeon movies just had so many bangers coming through. Adventures of Tintin, another movie that I'll talk about in a moment. But I remember The Adventures of Tintin just being such an amazing film to catch in theaters. It was an animated movie that felt like it took Indiana Jones and turned it up to 11 because Spielberg didn't have the limitations of a physical camera. He could move his camera anywhere. There are chase scenes in Tintin that are just absolutely physics defying, and it's because his camera can do anything he wants it to. This movie is so much fun. If you grew up going to French school like I did, I can't remember any French, but I did French immersion as a kid, and we always read Tintin comics, so this one had a bit of a special place for me. I love The Adventures of Tintin. Spielberg did so well with this, and I'm dying for him and Peter Jackson and Edgar Wright to do the next one in the series, so that's my first pick. And second, here's another 2011 movie that Nickelodeon Films dropped as a banger, Rango. Not one of my
Yep.
favorite movies. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not a huge fan of Rango. I think it is one of the weaker animated feature winners, but hey, I'm in it to win it this game. I know that Rango is beloved by most people that aren't me, and it is really fun. It's got some great Western aesthetics. It has some great music. Johnny Depp is wacky as ever, playing a little chameleon. It's fun. It's satisfying. It does what it's promising. Is it my favorite film? No, but it's probably someone out there's favorite film on this list, and that's why I gotta take it second.
All right, I may be a little sad losing Rango, and after some further research, I guess School of Rock does not count. It's the same effect that you're talking about there with Hugo, and so when you do your research for these drafts, you probably shouldn't use, non-trustworthy sites. You probably should go to the official Wikipedia or IMDb. I simply did not do that. But now I have the official IMDb in front of me, so I am going to go with a different Jack Black movie here, and I will go with Nacho Libre. Is it as good as School of Rock? Definitely not, but it's still a dumb, fun time, and that's what most of these movies that we're drafting here, I think the rest of the way are. And speaking of another dumb, fun time, the sequel is coming out later this year. This movie came out during COVID. It got very much, overlooked by a lot of people, but it's one of those where, is it good? Probably not, but when you watch it, you're like, this is enjoyable, and that is Paw Patrol, the movie.
Okay. I can respect that. That's a good Canadian pick, because Paw Patrol, I'm sorry, world, we gave that to you.
Paw Patrol's nice. Don't listen to Matt here.
Good picks. Nacho Libre, that's a great film. That was going to be one of my next picks, but instead you went with Jack Black. I'm going to go with another giant of comedy. I'm taking a Jim Carrey film. Give me A Series of Unfortunate Events. This one had a lot of success at the Oscars. If we're talking Oscars, it got a bunch of nominations for makeup, for score. This one, I haven't seen this movie in years, but I loved the book series. I thought it was a lot of fun. I remembered liking the movie when I saw it in theaters as a kid, but I don't think I've seen it since I was like 7 years old. So I don't remember much about this movie. Maybe it's a piece of crap, but I'm going to take it here. It feels like one of the most acclaimed movies we have left on the list. And after that, I'm going to take a bit of a reach, a movie I haven't seen yet, but I will be seeing in 2 days, and that is TMNT Mutant Mayhem. I am just taking a reach here. I've heard great things about this movie. I cannot wait to see it for myself, and I'm sure this is going to be a worthwhile pick. It's from the same team that largely did The Mitchells versus the Machines, if I'm remembering that correctly. I might be wrong about that, but if they share a team, I am so in. I love Mitchells, and TMNT looks like the bomb.
Well, viewers out there, if you're still watching the video at this point, don't vote for Matt's team. He just drafted a movie he hasn't seen yet. I feel like that's an automatic X, because I'm taking two movies I have seen.
How many times have you taken 2001?
Like once. Maybe a few times, maybe a few times, but do I win those drafts? Sometimes maybe, sometimes I don't. Here I'm using it to my benefit because I'm taking two movies I have seen, and these two movies are awful, but they're awfully good, and that is Dora and the Lost City of Gold and Playing with Fire. Are these movies good? No. But are they fun times? Yes, and I have seen them, so at least I'm giving myself a little bit of extra credit with those. So viewers out there, you be the determining factor here. Should the better movie win, or the movies that we've actually seen win? Who knows?
Well, I mean, we will have seen it by the time the draft comes out, so that'll be a good thing to have. Maybe it's on my. I mean, maybe it'll be a great
It'll probably
pick.
be the first overall pick.
Probably. I mean, that's probably a steal at this point. I don't know anything about Playing with Fire, so I can't speak to that one. But Dora and the Lost City of Gold is so underrated. It's like Indiana Jones. It's so fun. It's so good. Not a movie for kids that watch Dora right now. It's a movie for people who were once kids that watched Dora. I'm going to take a classic Nickelodeon movie. One that I remember watching so much as a kid. One that ingrained the chicken dance into the collective mind of everyone. Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. What a wonderful movie. It was one of the first Best Animated Feature nominees as well, up against Shrek. And this one is just so much fun. It has a great cast of characters. It holds up with a great TV show that came afterwards. This one is just such a good movie.
Yeah, no, that is a great pick there. Honestly, I probably should have gone with that over with Playing with Fire or Door in the Lost City of Gold. But hey, we're going with the crazy live action movies over here, pairing that with Nacho Libre. So run down your team, Matt. What 5 films did you take from our Nickelodeon draft?
Well, for my Nickelodeon team, I started off with The Adventures of Tintin, then Rango, followed that up with A Series of Unfortunate Events, then TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, and finished it all up with Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius.
I had the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, but then, it kind of went a little bit off the rails. Nacho Libre, Paw Patrol the movie, Door in the Lost City of Gold, and wrapping up with Playing with Fire. So everyone out there, make sure to go to the YouTube community tab and vote for which team you think is better. That could be with the team with the better movie. It could be the team with the more stacked lineup. However you choose to vote, we just want to hear your voice heard. And make sure to comment down below with what movie you would take first overall. Maybe you've already seen TMNT and you would take that first overall, or maybe you still have to go with SpongeBob, or hey, Door in the Lost City of Gold could be your first overall pick too.
Let us know in the comments down below, and thank you so much for watching. As always, my name's Matt.
And my name's Dyl, and this is Fantasy Filmball.